What's up everyone and welcome to a bit of a talky video. This last couple of days I've been thinking about my content and Warframe and the future of sort of what everything is going to be. I don't want to just put out a video that's completely negative and just sounds like it's whining about stuff in the game I don't like. So instead, let's do a series of videos talking about the stuff in the game that I don't enjoy, I don't think does the game any favours, and let's come up with some ways I feel could improve things. Longevity of content is something that Warframe struggles with, and one of the few systems we have that has longevity is the Riven system. But if I'm honest, I've had enough of Rivens, and I don't really bother with them anymore. Honestly, I know quite a few people that actually feel the same way. Farming for hours on end to get Kuva for a couple of rolls, you know, only to get absolutely nothing from it because of the many layers of RNG stacked on top of each other. It's not an enjoyable experience, and the system just becomes a major exercise in frustration, to the extent that a large portion of the people I play with have given up caring about them entirely. The RNG on Rivens is absolutely insane. That god roll percentage is so small it's not even funny. How many stats does the thing? Does it have 2, 3? Does it have a negative? Are the rolls completely crap? Like in terms of, is it minus multi-shot? Are the rolls super low because there's like a 20% variation on them as well? And are they worth actually using it? The god roll has such a stupid low chance, it's insane. And part of the reason these god rolls get sold for 20,000 plat or more. Right now, for me, Kuva farming is absolutely fine. I don't mind it at all. You either have Kuva missions on planets you run, or you got Kuva survival if that's more your jam. We got Kuva deception that's coming in the next main line, plus Kuva in Nightwave rewards and in Nora's shop and login rewards. So there's plenty of opportunity and ways to get Kuva, so that doesn't really get too stale. All of the changes I would like to see come to the actual Riven rolling system itself and bring some control back to the player, while still keeping it as a stretch goal to make you invest into your Rivens rather than relying on this mystical RNGesus to bless you with a good Riven. We've actually had a massive discussion around this in my Discord for the last couple of days, so thank you to all of the people that have participated in that. When I talk about stretch goals, I'm talking about goals that keep you logging in and playing, progressing through a system that keeps you wanting to play. Stretch goals are important to have because it gives you something to aim for. It gives, like I say, longevity to content. An example of a stretch goal would actually be the crazy low percentage ephemera in some game modes that keep people playing for that reward when they might already have stopped playing that game mode. I'm not necessarily saying I agree with how the ephemeras are, just saying that that is an example of a stretch goal. But this system that I'm thinking of and proposing is all round and is based on having control over your rolls to an extent. It's still going to be using the base reroll system, but with an added system on top. Say you roll a Riven, you get a roll with 3 stats and a negative, but 2 of the stats and the negative are awful. But there's one stat on there is really nice roll. The suggestion would be that you could lock that stat in and only roll the other stats. Say 10 rolls later you get another stat you like. And that works nicely with the first roll. Now you can lock that in for an additional scaling cost based on how many stats you have locked in. Let's say, for example, 20k for the first one, 25 for the 10k for the first one, 25 for the next, 55 for a third. So that would be 90k all in. Numbers are obviously just an example of how it all could look, but obviously they would be subject to a lot of discussion. What this does mean is that while the majority of the work is still being done by RNG and the random rolling, the player has some actual control over their Riven, so that while you're having to still dump time and Kuva into a Riven and hope you get good rolls, you can actually feel some form of progression. Warframe is a game all about progression. Gaming in general is about feeling like your time is actually respected. Right now, entirely random rolls doesn't feel rewarding, and the time 100% doesn't feel respected whatsoever. You dump time and time into something and you get absolutely nothing out of it, and quite frankly, that is not a good feeling. This system would bring some of that control back to the player. Remember, this is supposed to be a system that allows you to invest into a weapon you enjoy. So taking that player investment out of the system by making it entirely RNG helps nothing, it helps nobody. Is it a costly system that I'm proposing to lock in stats? With the way I've laid it out, yes it is. But you're still going to have like the normal cost of rolling the Riven, that's not going away. So if you want a purely random outcome, you can still do that. But this is an additional system to allow people to home in on that Riven that they badly want, for whatever weapon that they want, but an additional cost. Building a God Roll Riven should be costly, it just should, and it should be time consuming. Rivens are not something to be done in a day, but it's something to build over time, and since this is your Riven, it's built the way you want it, it should take a bit of time. But the best thing about it is also it gives you a kind of progression. It gives you a fixed endpoint, whereas Rivens right now have no end. Fixed endpoints effectively give you a light at the end of the tunnel, of getting to the point where you are nearly done. You get an actual sense of achievement rather than that current feeling of thank God that's done, or just thanking the fact that you got lucky, rather than an actual achievement of having achieved something. Just as importantly though, I feel it would take a lot of the power out of the hands of people that are currently straight up ripping off people for thousands of black for God rolls, purely because of the rarity of their appearance. This system would allow anyone to go for that God roll Riven given enough time and patience. Not to mention the market would be driven down a bit because there would be more of those specific rolls out there. That would drive prices a bit lower. To be honest, taking some of the toxicity out of the Riven trading market would be a very welcome change. So these are the ideas we've been talking about in my Discord these last few days. I would be very interested to see your comments. I know some are going to love it, some are going to hate it, but I really want to get a discussion started. I love Warframe as a game, but I really think that there are things they could actually just absolutely improve. I don't want to make a video whining about what I hate. I want to provide options, opinions, suggestions to get the ball rolling. So feel free to let me know in the comments below what you think. Do you still mess with Rivens? If you don't, do you think you'd go back to them if you had more control over what you could do with them? But for now, many thanks for watching. Feel free to hit that like button if you liked the video and sub for more Warframe content, and I shall catch you in the next one.